Hey, you! Yeah, you. Did you know the average college freshman reads at a 7th grade level? Bet you didn't, seeing as you're a college freshman that doesn't freaking read. Bet you don't even know what the QEP is. Hey, wait, don't click off this video. Yeah, you. You come back here. Yeah, I'm watching you. Now put that rock of a phone you've been living under down and pay attention.
I'm Renard Dineski, and I am in my 27th year at SWAU, and I'm currently the Honors Director and the Director of the Quality Enhancement Plan, which we abbreviate to the QEP. The QEP is a 10-year plan that is required by the SACS accrediting group. In other words, every school within the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools has to have a plan for what they will do in the future to make their school even better than it is. So for accreditation, it's a forward-looking bit rather than looking backward at what has been done. And each school can choose a different one, but every school must choose a plan that is responding to actual data about how students are doing and some areas where they need to improve. There's huge demographic and social issues at play here that are so much bigger than SWAU or the state of Texas or the nation of the United States. With the invention of the smartphone, our world has changed. Once we start to get our information not from reading, but from videos, okay, we start to become a non-literate society. And that probably won't stop unless society at large really makes a conscious effort to stop it. Well, even in our test year last year, which was year 0 of the QEP, so it was our year where we tried some things out, we did improve reading levels. So it can be done. We didn't improve vocabulary very much for the freshmen, but we did improve freshmen's comprehension. I can't remember the data right off the top of my head, but the average freshman in about 12 weeks improved almost a full year in their comprehension. Not quite, okay? So they improved more than would just be explicable based on that they were X amount older. Does that make sense? And book clubs were a part of that. Word of the day, if people pay attention to it, is part of that. And also, I think just faculty members talking more about reading in their classes. Some people are definitely talking about reading strategies in their classes so that they're not just assigning work, but suggesting, here's how we go about reading it, and read passages in class and discuss them. Too soon to know, because we don't have post-test data for this year.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
We recently gave the Reading Attitude Survey. You guys probably took that, I hope you did, at the Assembly recently. The pretest Reading Attitude Survey, and I've yet to analyze those numbers. But we also made quite a bit of progress on that particular goal last year. We lowered, by we I mean SWAU, lowered reading anxiety in students quite a bit in a number of areas. And that's a real win, I think. Because if people no longer fear reading, they're going to do reading more. And so that was helpful. But for this year, we don't have any post-test stuff. No post-tests for Nelson-Denny until week 15 of this semester. And no post-test on the reading attitude survey until spring semester. But I am anticipating seeing improvement. Not massive improvement, but you know, if we can make a little improvement, it matters. The two main goals of the QEP are first, to improve students' reading ability, especially of academic materials, and second, to lower students' reading anxiety. Let me back up and talk about each of those in turn. We want to improve students' reading ability. We do that in two ways, both by vocabulary. Here's more vocabulary that you can have so that you can understand your books better. And also for academic materials, you know how it is when you get into a specific area like communication or a science class. They use jargon words that are associated with that particular area. You won't get it in normal conversation, but you get it in biology or whatever, all right? And so we need to make sure that students can read academic journal articles. By the time you are a junior, you need to be reading academic journal articles and know how to, and it's hard. Because these are kind of written on a graduate school level. Make sense? That meant give me a nod. But you need to be able to do that because that's how academics get their information, academic journal articles. But also, reading anxiety is important. If people are afraid of reading and do not think that they are good readers, even if they are pretty good readers, if they don't think they're a good reader, they will fear it, which in turn makes them read less. And the way you get to be a better reader is by reading more. So if we can lower the reading anxiety, that will really help. And we do that by giving students skills to make sure that they know how to read. It was shocking last year to see the number of students who don't read their textbooks. Okay? Stuff is assigned for class. Don't be smirking too much because I'll think that it's you. Stuff gets assigned for class and maybe you read it, but based on our reading attitude survey last year, a lot of the students is why you aren't reading the assigned material. Our professor's eyes grow wide. I'm trying to make my eyes real wide at that. In other words, we think by assigning it, you're reading it. That's just not true. I think one of the reasons students aren't reading it is they don't know how or they're afraid of it. They need somebody to show them that they can read it, and here are the reading strategies that can help them wade through what seems pretty difficult material at this point. Okay, you just need some strategies, so that's what we're working on. And it will improve students' reading ability. Maybe not massive, but every little bit is going to help. And if we can combat that terrible stat that you said earlier, that the average freshman's reading on the 7th grade, we've got to do something about that, or our society really is headed into a post-literate age. Let's not let that happen.